It had just, I was in a slump. I had no closings for 2 months. I was going into the third month. And one morning, my kids were getting up for school. Everything seemed to be normal. But we were leaving for school. Everybody was ready to go. And one of my daughters had come into my room. Hey, Dad, our van's not here. Where is it at? And I knew damn well where it was. I hadn't paid my car in 2 to 3 months at that time. I was taking a risk. I was risking my family's security, and I was risking my family not having a vehicle by not taking the actions to get an escrow to create any kind of income for that matter. And on this day, it all manifested at one time. My car got taken in the same hour. I literally had a conversation, a crucial conversation with my wife. Had to be uncomfortably honest. And it's just like that. The certainty that my wife had within me dissipated. I didn't tell my kids. We didn't tell our kids the actual truth because we didn't want to give them any more insecurity than they already had. But when that confidence and that certainty dissipated from my wife in that instant, I can't tell you how low I felt. I can't tell you all of the stories that came into my head. Well, that's what you get. You should have marketed. You should have called. You should have followed up with that person. You should have tried to close harder. Instead, look where you're at now. It took me 2 weeks to get my vehicle back, because once you miss your car payments, you got to make up the car payments, and then you got to pay for towing fees and all this other shit to get your car out. So I had dug myself into a really deep pit, and it had just gotten deeper that day. So the next day, I'd got my vehicle back in a couple of weeks, but the next day, I took the risk. I put my neck out there and started to do the things that I should have been doing at that time. That's when I was cold calling, I was door knocking, I was doing open houses. I was making calls from my daughter's bedroom, from her desk, because I didn't have anywhere to go, or maybe I just chose to not go into the office because, well, why? I can work at home. So after that had occurred, it wasn't very long after that I started to build that momentum, because I started to take those risks, even though I wasn't seeing anything for a couple of weeks. And although, we fill this all out on a daily basis, there will be times where you don't see anything, but the unwavering faith that I have into this template, now I can see. I know that there's no other option than for good things to happen when I'm putting in these deposits. So how much of a risk for good things to happen when I'm putting in these deposits? So how much of a risk are you taking by not utilizing this book every single day? And that's the only question that I want to ask you guys out there.